Imagine a world without it, a world where a simple scratch on your finger could lead to a deadly infection. Imagine walking through a city where bad smells were inescapable and diseases spread like wildfire simply because people couldn't wash their hands. It sounds like a horror movie, doesn't it? But for most of human history, this was reality. Today, we take it for granted. We walk into a store, buy a colorful bottle, press a pump, and poof, we are clean. But this everyday item, this simple bar of soap, has a history that is dark, slippery, and surprisingly expensive. Welcome back to Thinglish. I'm your host, and today we are going to scrub away the dirt of the past. We are diving deep into the history of soap. From ancient Babylon to modern laboratories, we will uncover how soap saved humanity. By the end of this video, you will not only understand the chemistry of cleaning, but you will also master essential English vocabulary like sanitation, alkali, saponification, and ʻlʌkʃəri. So roll up your sleeves and let's get started. So, who actually invented soap? If you are picturing a modern scientist in a white lab coat mixing chemicals in a clean room, think again. We have to travel back much further, nearly 5,000 years into the past. Our journey begins in ancient Babylon, around 2800 BC. During excavations in historic Babylon, archaeologists discovered ancient clay cylinders. Inside these cylinders, they found evidence of a strange soap-like substance. The inscriptions on the cylinders revealed the recipe. It was a mixture of animal fats boiled with wood ash. This brings us to our first key word of the day: chemical reaction. You see, soap isn't just a mix of ingredients. It's the result of a chemical change. When you mix an acid, like fat, with an alkali, like ash, a specific reaction happens. We call this process saponification. But here is the surprising part. The Babylonians didn't use this soap to wash their bodies or take bubble baths. Historical records suggest they used it as an industrial tool to clean wool and cotton for textile production. It was used to prepare cloth for weaving, not for personal hygiene. Now, let's fast forward a few thousand years to the Roman Empire. The Romans are famous in history books for their love of water. They built massive aqueducts and magnificent public baths, like the ones you see in the Colosseum. You might think, surely the Romans loved soap. Actually, they didn't. The Romans had a very different method of cleaning. Instead of soap and water, they would cover their bodies in olive oil. Then they would use a curved metal tool called a strigil to scrape the oil off their skin. The oil would pull away the dirt, sweat, and dead skin. It wasn't exactly bubbly, but it worked for them. However, there is a famous legend about where the English word soap actually comes from. The story tells of a place near Rome called Mount Sapo. According to the legend, animals were sacrificed on this mountain. The animal fat from the fires mixed with the white wood ashes. When it rained, this soapy, fatty mixture washed down the mountain and into the Tiber River below. Women washing clothes in the river noticed something amazing. The clay from this specific spot made cleaning their clothes much easier and faster. While historians are still debating if this story is 100% true, the Latin word sapo is definitely the origin of our modern word soap. After the mighty Roman Empire fell, Europe entered a period known as the Middle Ages, or the Dark Ages. And ironically, it was a dark time for personal hygiene, too. For many centuries in Europe, bathing was actually considered dangerous. People believed that warm water opened the pores of the skin and allowed diseases like the Black Death or the plague to enter the body. So, people simply stopped washing. Queen Elizabeth I famously said she took a bath once a month, whether she needed it or not. You can only imagine the smell of the cities during this time. However, the art of soap making didn't die out completely. While Europe was dirty, soap making flourished in the Islamic world and the Middle East. By the 7th century, soap makers in cities like Nablus and Aleppo were creating incredible hard soaps. They improved the ancient recipe by using vegetable oils like olive oil and adding aromatic herbs and scents. This was the grandfather of the luxury soap we know today. By the time soap finally returned to popularity in Europe during the Renaissance, it wasn't a product for the common people. It became a massive status symbol. Look at these images of velvet and gold. This represents the only class of people who could afford good soap: the aristocracy and the extremely wealthy. In countries like England, the government realized they could make a lot of money from this new demand. They introduced a heavy tax on soap. Soap became a luxury item, strictly for the rich. It was so controlled that soap makers' boiling pans were fitted with padlocks by tax collectors. At night, the soap police would lock the equipment to make sure no one produced illegal, untaxed soap after hours. Because of this tax, a bar of soap was as valuable as gold jewelry for the ordinary worker. The tax was so high that it wasn't removed in England until 1853. For hundreds of years, being clean was a privilege that only money could buy. Everything changed with the arrival of the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century. Science and technology finally caught up with human needs. A French chemist named Nicolas Leblanc made a groundbreaking discovery. He found a way to make soda ash, the key ingredient for soap, from common salt. This was a game changer. It meant the ingredients for soap were now cheap, plentiful, and easy to get. Factories started mass-producing soap by the ton. Companies began advertising campaigns telling people that soap was the key to being civilized and healthy. Suddenly, the common worker could afford to wash their clothes and their bodies regularly. This era sparked a massive improvement in global health. Infant mortality rates dropped, and diseases spread less frequently. Soap transformed from a luxury into a daily hero. Today, soap is everywhere. We have an endless variety: liquid soaps, detergents, body washes, shampoos, and facial cleansers. But here is a fun fact. Technically, many of the things we use today aren't soap in the traditional sense. They are synthetic detergents. Real soap is made from fats and ash, but modern detergents are chemical compounds designed to clean without leaving scum or residue, especially in hard water. We also add perfumes, moisturizers, vitamins, and colors to make the experience enjoyable. Washing is no longer just about survival or hygiene. It has become a ritual of self-care and relaxation. From a mix of animal fats and ashes in Babylon, to a luxury item locked away by the police, and finally to the scented bottle in your shower, soap has had a wild and incredible journey. It is a simple invention that literally cleaned up the world. Before we finish, let's review the key Thinglish words you learned today. Repeat after me. Number 1. Saponification. This is the chemical reaction between fat and alkali that creates soap. Number 2. Hygiene. This refers to practices that maintain health and prevent disease, especially through cleanliness. Number 3. Luxury. Something that is expensive and pleasant, but not absolutely necessary for survival. Thank you so much for watching Thinglish K. I hope you enjoyed this clean history lesson. If you did, please scrub that like button, leave a comment below about what history topic we should cover next, and subscribe to the channel. Stay curious, keep learning, and stay clean. Bye.